All right, so this is the finance section. So with this one, the starting one, it's quite annoying because that's supposed to be the easiest one. So when you're asked to find, they give you TO, they give you the formula, and they say find the value of T2. Obviously, nerves get the part of it, but just follow the example. If you look at it, well, T1, according to the rule, must be negative TO. So if TO is 5, it's negative, it's like that. So T1 is negative 5. Then if you're doing T2, T2 is negative T1. So T2 would be negative 5. What does a negative and a negative make? A positive. So it ends up being 5. So what I find with these is like you're used to doing the basic ones on the recursively on your calculator. They're probably going to muck up and be annoying because of the calculator doesn't like to do, with negatives. So just do it like that. Yes, they're not hard numbers. If you do it like that, then you're fine. All right. So the next one, So Gus purchases a coffee machine for $15,000. So we should be doing this in the exam, and it depreciates using the unit cost method. So we want to make sure that we are underlining those so we know. Now the rate of what's happening there? Sorry. The rate of depreciation is 4 cents per coffee made, sorry. Now, it says the recurrence relation models. Now, you have to be careful. This is a year-to-year formula. So the machine is dropping by this much in a year, but they said it's dropping because of uses. So what this is the drop. And you have to be careful. This is how they're starting to trap you. This is the drop in value after 1 year of uses. So it's not the time period that's making it drop in value. It's because it's getting used within the year. So it says the first one was the rule. So when that's the rule, that's the nth term. So you go to that middle section in your formula sheet, and it says it wants the rule for years. So you simply just had to change this recurrence relation to the nth term formula. So where it said you go GN equals GN equals VO minus the cost, whatever the cost was, the D times N. So because it's year to year, you just want it to drop because this is year, so after how many years? So it'll just be this one, the VO minus that. But here, when they ask, and so that wasn't done well, it's still after years, so you just have to do then. But the next one, the number of coffee cups made in the machine per year. Well, if we know that it's 1,314, it drops per year, but a coffee costs 4 cents for them to do, that's going to equal how many? If you divide that by that, that'll be the number of uses. So when we do that, we end up with 32,850. It's just a little bit trickier in terms of reading it. Make sure year to year. They're trying to make it a bit nastier because kids, it's easy to just do basic unit cost ones. Everyone's got that. So they're trying to change it up a bit. Oh God, sorry. Okay, so the next one is here, 21. All right, so this question, be careful, make sure you read that, so I'm on 21, but the information before is to do with this. So it says, for tax purposes, Audrey depreciates the value of her 3,000 computer. At the end of 4 years, the value is thing. So V4 is 600. Now, they asked in question 1 in 20 to do the flat rate option. In this one, they asked us to do the reducing balance option. So you're asked to find the little r. So if you go to your, we even had it in your notes if you want. I'm just going to, so with this one, we're asked to find the rate. Now, this is a multiple choice question, so it doesn't really, you don't have to show you're working out. But as I said, we have a formula sheet for this. So if you go to the reducing balance and you go to the formula for finding the rate, we've got this formula that the rate equals 1 minus the R times the PPY times the 100. So if you look at it, PPY, this is just year to year, so that's going to be 1. So if you were writing this out, it's 1 minus, now the R value, oh no, actually you can't do that because you don't have the other value. Sorry, take that back. So that's, if you have to show the percentage, that's what you use, but we can't do that because we don't know what the R value is. So I'm going to use the nth term formula, which if you go to your notes, it says this times VO. So we have all that information here. We've got V4. So if I find V4 is 600. So if I use 4, and I'll use 4. So 600 equals 1 minus the rate over 100 to the power of 4 times VO, which was 3,000. And you can do solve for that, comma R, and we end up with the rate is 33%. Okay, so it was just doing 2 options. I'm not sure why that was too bad. But anyway, let's have a look. Number 22, Timmy took a reducing balance loan of 500,000. So reducing balance loan 500,000. That's PV or VO. The interest is calculated monthly, so PPY equals 12. The balance of the loan after n months, so this is the monthly formula, can be done like that. So I'm seeing that. Now the final payment that will be used to fully repay the loan. So we know, even though here they've set up these are the monthly payments. I can see that in the recurrence relation. So that's the monthly payments. But because we all do rounding in the banks, like we round it to the nearest cent, we know essentially, or our last payment has to get adjusted. So remember what we're going to write. Remember we said the final payments, when we're finding final payment, we're going to find FV. So we're going to pretend we don't know what FE is at the end of the loan period, and we'll adjust and adjust. So remember I said, so if it's negative, we will add it to our payment. If it's positive, we'll take it off. All right, so let's have a look. So first we need to know how, I'll do the next step in a different color. So if the first we're going to know how long does the loan go for? How long loan lasts? Okay, because I need to know what will be my last payment. So pretty much N is the question there. Okay, so if I go through that and I write out finance solver, I said N's going to be my question. PV I can see is a positive 300,000. 500,000 even. The payments, now I'm paying back the bank, so that's a sad day. I've got to give them my money, so it's negative. Now which one did I miss? Interest rate, yeah. Oops, I've missed here. Let me rub that out because we need interest rate, yeah. Sorry. Okay, so because interest rate. So I'm just going to write those ones quickly out. We had that. and the payments we knew. We could see that. Now, the interest rate, we don't have it. Now, remember, interest rate is per annum, yeah? So that's, we want the R, the per annum. So a quick way to find the interest rates when you don't know is just take obviously you charged extra. So if you just take this number here, the bit after the 1, okay? And this is a quick way to find the interest. You can just put that number in there. So that's the monthly rate. So I'll times it by 12 and I'll times it by 100. So you can find, if you want, I can be found by going that 0.00325 times the PPY times the 100. That will give you that. And when you type that in, it will tell you, you know how the finance solver, it'll put it as it becomes 3.9. Okay? So we've got that. We put, now we want this loan to be 0 and then PPY is 12. So when we do that, we end up with, it's roughly 300, okay? So you're going to make 300 payments. I think it ends up being 299 or something like that. So we know it's 300. So now I want the final payment. So I go to the end of the term. So I put everything in the same. Remember, I've found that out now. And I keep everything the same. But I'm now checking for the final value. So that's what we're going to look. What's actually happened if I do that? And if you have a look, we end up with negative 2.47. Negative means I still owe the bank. So still owe the bank. So my last payment is going to be what I was going to pay plus the $2.47, which ends up equaling 2614.12, which is D. What about if it was a positive? That means the bank owes me. I don't need to pay. My last payment doesn't need to be as much. Does that make sense? Yeah? So then that's the answer to that one.